Hello people, welcome back to another video. I hope you are feeling amazing today. But today, I want to talk about the importance and the differences of albums, EPs, and mixtapes. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while because I realized not a whole lot of people actually know what these things are, so I'm here to educate. Let's start with what these terms actually mean. An album is a full-length, officially released body of work. It's like a main event. In an artist's discography, albums are typically 8 to 20 plus songs, or 30 minutes to over an hour. The purpose of an album is usually for commercial release. It's supposed to represent the artist's most refined and complete vision. Albums also are the projects that get heavily promoted with singles, rollouts, and marketing. As for the execution of an album, albums tend to usually have a theme or cohesive concept of some sort. It also tends to have a well-polished production, and that's because full-length albums are often supported by major record labels. On the copyright side of things, albums are the projects that get subjected to sample clearance and copyrights, and this is because albums are the projects that get monetized the most. Speaking artistically, a rapper should make an album to establish your place as a serious artist. Another reason is for critical acclaim. Albums are the projects that receive awards. As a rapper, when you make an album, you are making a statement and cementing a landmark moment in your career. Some great examples I'd give of what an album should be more or less are projects like 2014 Forest Hills Drive by J. Cole and Astroworld by Travis Scott. Those are really big concept ideas. Both are very cohesive projects that maintain a consistent level of quality and production while still telling a story throughout the whole album. I suggest giving these albums a listen to better understand what I'm saying, to be honest. But that's pretty much it as far as albums go. Let's talk about EPs. EPs, also known as extended plays, are shorter length projects, more than a single, but not as long as an album. You can kind of think of it as like a sampler or a teaser. EPs are usually 3 to 7 tracks or 10 to 25 minutes. Typically, the purpose of releasing an EP is to make a quick drop to keep a fan base engaged. It's also a great opportunity to test new sounds and experimental ideas. It's a good introductory tool too for new artists. Another thing about EPs is that they don't require as much budget or planning as an album does. EPs can definitely be concept driven, but they tend to be more looser in theme, unlike albums. EPs are not always tied to commercial performance as well. Overall, EPs are great to experiment with new sounds before committing to an album. They can also be a strategic drop between major releases, something like a pre-rollout of some sorts. On top of that, a rapper gets to introduce themselves without overwhelming a new audience. Some good examples of what a good EP is Kendrick Lamar's Untitled Unmastered and Days Before the Rodeo by Travis Scott. Untitled Unmastered is a good example of strategically dropping in between albums, and Days Before the Rodeo is a good example that a short track list can still be thematic. But let's move on to mixtapes, okay? Mixtapes are non-commercial and sometimes even unofficial. A mixtape is a looser, rawer collection of songs, less polished, but sometimes more expressive. Mixtapes can be 8 to 20 songs or 30 minutes to over an hour, often the same length as an album, but it can definitely be less. Also, these projects tend to be less structured as well. There's honestly a lot of reasons for a rapper to drop a mixtape, but the main reasons to drop one is to garner street buzz or underground credit. Also to showcase skill, hunger, or versatility. Lastly, it allows for a freer production in the sense that mixtapes can use uncleared samples or beats. Beyond that though, mixtapes are often released for free or with minimal rollout, meaning like not a lot of ads put out for the project, no one really gets a heads up. They may also include freestyles, remixes, or even raw takes, unmastered tracks. Mixtapes are more about vibes and grinding rather than being a polished project. Realistically, a rapper would want to drop a mixtape to build an audience organically, also to flex lyrical or creative muscles with no commercial pressure. Some great examples of mixtapes that achieve the things that I'm talking about are the Dedication series by Lil Wayne and Cushion Orange Juice by Wiz Khalifa. Look, at the end of the day, as hip-hop evolves, one thing remains clear. The format an artist chooses, whether an album, an EP, or a mixtape, is more than just a technical decision. It's a clear reflection of intent, strategy, and identity. Albums are the foundation of a rapper's legacy and discography. They're the full-length statements that define eras, shift the culture, and become reference points in hip-hop history. From Illmatic to Pimp a Butterfly, albums represent a rapper at their most focused, delivering a body of work that speaks to who they are, what they believe, and how far their sound can go. EPs, on the other hand, are like sharp, intentional snapshots. They allow artists to experiment, tease upcoming projects, or make quick, powerful statements. EPs have introduced new voices, revived careers, and shown that less can truly be more when the message is strong. In a fast-moving digital era, EPs keep artists relevant without oversaturating the market. And then there are mixtapes, the raw, rebellious soul of the streets. Mixtapes built empires from the ground up. They gave us Lil Wayne's relentless wordplay, 50 Cent's hunger, Future's trap transformation, and Chance the Rapper's genre-bending joy. Mixtapes are freedom, unconstrained by rules, often filled with unfiltered energy and ambition. Together, these three forms represent the flexibility and depth of hip-hop as an art form. They ultimately allow artists to build buzz, craft masterpieces, or simply speak their truth. Whether 3 tracks or 20, no other genre uses formats this dynamically, this strategically, and this creatively. So, whether it's a polished album, a quick fire EP, or a gritty street mixtape, every project adds a chapter to hip-hop's story. And if there's one thing that's certain, it's this. The format may change, but the voice, the message, and the impact, that's forever. Also, please stop dropping 30 to 40 tracks on a project because you're too lazy to drop EPs and mixtapes. It's very obvious. Anyways, thank you so much if you watched the video all the way to the end. It truly means the world to me. Let me know if you want me to make a video on anything specific. But until next time, goodbye.